Welcome to my video about Work Burnout 101. In this video, I answer questions like, do you know if you're burned out? How do you know if you're burned out? And what the heck is burnout anyway? I can understand and relate to all of those questions, especially the question, am I a failure for being burned out? By the end of this video, you will know if you are one, burned out, or two, on the path to being burned out. I'm Jennifer Bassman, a certified CliftonStrengths coach and a business owner burnout master. I help extinguish burnout in others so that they can recover to a life and a business that's built around their strengths and what they do best. I'm also a burnout survivor. In 2013, burnout hit me like a train. I spent more than 2 years clawing my way out. Now I share those resources and I teach others how to recover and to prevent burnout in their own lives. I'm going to put a warning label here, though. I tell it like it is, and I give you the hard truth about burnout recovery. It takes a lot of honesty to discuss, so that's what you're going to get from me, the brutal truth. I say that because not everybody is ready to tackle their own burnout. They would rather make excuses or focus on what they think they can't do or they can't change. You've got to be ready to do the hard work. So, you won't know if you're burned out if you don't know what burnout even is. The textbook definition of burnout is a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion that is caused by chronic stress, typically in a workplace setting. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, unable to meet constant demands. And people who are genuinely burned out often describe extreme exhaustion and a depletion of energy. They are cynical and irritable in an attitude towards their work, and they have feelings of helplessness and an inability to focus on and do the work. They often find that they have an inability to make decisions, whether they're simple or complicated. My definition of burnout is similar to the textbook definition, but I add in continued feelings of fear related to work or not completing it. So, who's at risk of experiencing burnout? Burnout can happen to any type of person in any type of industry. If you feel a lack of control in your environment or your circumstances, you experience chronic work related stress, or have a job with high demand and high expectations, you are at risk of burning out. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It develops slowly and gradually, which is why a lot of people fail to recognize they're even burning out. And the burnout process can linger for long periods of time, especially if it goes on ignored. The longer you allow it to go on, the harder it is to recover. What makes burnout particularly hard to notice is that we often reward unhealthy and unrealistic workplace and social expectations. Huh? What does that mean? It means that when your coworkers and your friends are bragging about working long hours, taking on extra work even though they're slammed, and sacrificing personal time to be at the office to do work, know that these behaviors are red flags for burnout. That behavior and that bragging that often gets rewarded with compliments for their hard work and hard work ethic. Did you know that burnout can affect your body and your health for years to come? Over time, the behaviors that lead to burnout can take a toll on your health and well being, as well as your ability to be productive and effective. That's why when you're burned out, you feel like the least productive and least effective person on earth. It's that chronic stress that harms your health. When you're under chronic stress, your body and your mind go into overdrive trying to protect you. That means that your heart works harder, your fight or flight processes fire relentlessly. You may begin to suffer memory loss and weight gain. All of this wear and tear can eventually cause permanent damage. I'm not here to scare you, but as someone who has recovered from a 2+ year burnout sentence, getting over the psychological aspects of burnout seemed to be the easier part for me. The damage I did to my own body by keeping it under constant stress has been a far more extensive process to recover from. One thing I can tell you for sure about burnout is that it doesn't go away on its own. You can't ignore it, you can't wish it away, which is something many of us try to do. We try to sleep it off because burnout has a way of this creeping through our minds and our bodies, and then it shows itself through pretty much everything we say and do. People can tell when you're burned out. Here's where my tough love comes in. It is going to take some introspection about your own behavior, your own habits in order to recover from burnout. You're going to have to change your mind and your attitude instead of making excuses or saying, I can't, or whatever excuse you want to use. I would love to tell you that there's a cure and that ice cream, pizza, binging on your favorite TV show would cure it, but it takes a combination of solutions unique to you. When I burned out, I literally tried everything to recover. What I discovered is that everybody's burnout is unique and it's going to take a unique combination of solutions to heal, with one exception: figuring out the root cause of what burns you out. If you don't know or don't find the root cause of your burnout, the rest of the things that you do will be band aids. Not that band aids aren't helpful in the recovery process, but they don't actually heal the pain point that keeps you in burnout. This is what I mean or meant a few minutes ago about recovery requiring some introspection. I discovered the root cause of my burnout through the Clifton Strengths assessment. Using the knowledge of my strengths, I was able to accurately identify and get rid of the things that were causing me stress. I was able to feel confident in the new decisions regarding my business and my future, and I could sleep at night because in my gut, I knew I was moving in the right direction. I will include a link to the Clifton Strengths assessment in the show notes below. Clifton Strengths isn't the only way to find the root cause of your burnout, but it is one of the most effective. Burnout does not have to equal failure. And it's important to me to reiterate this point that burnout does not equal failure. While it may feel as though you have failed yourself or you've failed others, burnout does not signal failure on your part for any reason. Sometimes I prefer to think of burnout as caring too much. As oversimplified as that may sound, almost every person I've coached through burnout has cared far too much about their business, their job, or pleasing someone else. And for the record, I include myself in that statement. So, how do you know if you're burned out? In the show notes for this video, I'm going to link to a burnout quiz. It's non scientific, but it will help you determine if burnout is something you should consider. I will also link to common signs and symptoms of burnout as well. But common signs and symptoms include an inability to concentrate. You are irritable or impatient with coworkers, employees, and customers. You lack the energy to be consistently productive. Don't have any satisfaction from the achievements that you've had. You have poor sleep habits, poor diet, poor exercise, and you tend to remove yourself from social life, family, and friends. If you are suffering from burnout or working to prevent it, be sure to subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button below. I consistently update with videos that discuss burnout and ideas directly related to it. Thank you for watching. I'm glad you were here.